Let's speak to Kennedy Nyaga, who is the Vice Chair of the United Millers Association. He joins me. Thank you for speaking with us tonight. Earlier this week, you said 75 shillings, according to CS Kiunjuri, not possible.
Not possible.
Why?
Okay, when we had a meeting with the CS, that should be a month ago. Actually, the prices of maize were far much down. We used to get it between 14 and 1600. And when the minister came and he called us, and actually let me first make this point very clear, Yvonne. Even before these prices were announced, we as millers, we were selling actually less. We were doing it at between 66, 68 to the distributors. So what Mr. Kiunjuri did, he just came to make it official. Because the prices that we were getting, we were able actually to do it at the prices that we were selling.
So what changed? So
what changed is we agreed with the minister, fine, we'll do it at that price because we are getting maize between 1200, 1600, 1400, which was fine to us. And then later, the minister had promised us that he is going to look at an issue of giving us maize from National Cereals and Produce Board at a cost of 1,600. So we thought, because the maize we were getting at that time, actually most of the millers were getting from our neighboring country, that is Uganda.
Okay.
At which
that
was
lower
cheap.
Cost.
Yes, at a very lower cost. So we were aware that this maize from Uganda, of course, it will come a time and it will end. So, and that one came. So the minister never gave us the maize we had agreed. And then we had to go back again now to the farmers. And we asked them to sell the maize to us. And they said, you know what? We cannot sell at this price. Why? We are waiting for the government. The government has actually been buying this maize from the farmers at a cost of over 3,000. So
there was no way they were going to sell that maize to you at half the price?
No way.
So this agreement that was made, by the time the cabinet secretary was making this very clear pronouncement that we have just played, you had an agreement with him that you were going to get it from NCPB?
NCPB,
And then you went to NCPB and?
No, actually we are waiting for him now to call us and tell us, you know what, now we have agreed because he told us he is going to take this issue to the cabinet so that he can get the approval. So we've been waiting for this, but unfortunately it has not come now, and the maize from where we are getting from Uganda is already done.
What would some would say, my final question to you was that, one, this was unrealistic, that NCPB does not even have enough maize to sell to you at this cost for a significant period of time, considering what we have in storage. And some say that this was also a bit of politics within even the millers sector, because it's United Millers and not the others. There's another section of millers who are not part of this agreement.
No. Okay, we have two associations.
Yes.
There is a CMA, that is Cereal Millers Association, for the big millers. And we have UGMA, which is United Grain, small millers. So what we did when we were getting into agreement with the CS, we did it as UGMA. The big millers were not there. And we didn't know whether they had this kind of arrangement with the CS.
So this was just between yourselves and the cabinet secretary?
Yes, and the cabinet.
So how much is the maize flour retailing now from United Millers?
From United Grain Millers, let me say most of our millers have not actually hiked the prices. What we were trying to do actually when we came up with this issue of raising the prices, we were just trying to caution the consumers.
So when is that price increase expected?
Now we've actually instructed them, depending with how much you get the maize for, do your own computation, do your own costing, and see how much you can sell. But now, currently, what we are getting the maize at is between 2,000 and 2,300.
So you cannot give a promise today that it will be 75 unless things change?
No. I'm sorry, we can't do that. We can't.
All right.
Yes.
Kennedy Nyaga, who is the Vice Chair of United Grain Millers, talking to us about the cost of unga. He says it will not be 75. But their millers are looking to mark up the price, and it was just a warning. So we are not getting cheap unga from it.
No, unless government does something. And what we are saying right now, we are expecting them to release a maize to us, of which I don't even think whatever is remaining now, you've heard what the CS has said about the spoiled maize and what is remaining. I think the most we can get is 2 million. That is according to my
Which should last about what, a month?
A month, 3 weeks. From there, we don't know what next.
Kennedy Nyaga from the United Grain Millers is the Vice Chair talking to us about that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So now we've talked about the cost. Asante sana.
Thank you.
We've talked about the cost, so let's take a look at what food security means in this country. And Dr. James Nyoro joins me now. You've advised the President on this very issue. What is happening in our maize sector? This is not the first time we're having a row over importation, over the storage of maize, over its quality, over its cost. What's going on in this sector?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. It's very unfortunate because as far as food security in this country is concerned, it's like we are in a hole. And every time we are digging deeper. Because we just came out of these huge importations. Because it was a bad year. It was a drought year, 2017, and we brought maize from as far as Mexico. God blessed us with rain in 2018, and yet we are in the same kind of quagmire. The problem is, and we can discuss about that, our food security strategy is very incoherent. And I'm happy that one of the 4 pillars that the President has identified, one of the big 4, is food security. The elephant in the room is the National Cereals and Produce Board. For whatever reason. First, they are the ones who decide what price to buy, when to buy, when to cross, and how much to sell to the millers, as you very effectively showed. As if that is not enough, NCPB is in charge and responsible for importation of this national fertilizer subsidy and distribution to farmers, and all the reasons related to contamination and leading to high cost of production, which, as you said today. So where we are today is a reflection of where we have come from. And I want to be very categorical and say today we may be talking about maize. This country has a structural deficit of about 30% of our maize consumption. You heard Kennedy say initially they were importing from Uganda. We get about 30-35% of our consumption from Uganda and Tanzania, and sometimes as far as Malawi and Zambia. When you look at wheat, our production is only 25%. 75% is coming from outside. When you look at rice, 2/3 is coming from outside, from Thailand, Pakistan, and so on. This country is today spending in excess of 130 billion shillings to import basic food commodities, the ones we have outlined. Obviously, anybody will know, if you are importing basic commodities worth 130 billion, you are exporting wealth, you are importing poverty, and you are importing unemployment. So that's the situation as far as our food security is concerned.
So how do we fix this? Because right now, we're caught up in sort of the short-term issues, which is cost, which is important. I mean, you know, access to food is equally important as well. But now we're stuck on, should it be 75 shillings? And now we're trying to figure out, was it Ambassador Willie Bett, or is it CS Kiunjuri? The President is livid. He has admonished CS Kiunjuri 3 times in public. Where should he begin? Where is that problem? Because now we are pointing fingers, we're talking about cost. It was 90 shillings when it was subsidized. There was the Mexico scandal. Here's yet another one.
Let's talk about maize, because incidentally, Yvonne, maize insecurity is food insecurity. When there is no maize, even if there are potatoes, people say there is no food.
Right.
The current situation, as I said, must be sorted out immediately. The CS has confirmed that out of the 6 million bags that are in NCPB stores, about 4.4 or 65% is unfit for human consumption. Meaning, you not just get constipated if you eat it, you die because it has aflatoxin.
Right.
Which means immediately that 4.4 million bags should be put into lorries that are guarded by police and taken to Mombasa, because even the smoke from aflatoxin spreads aflatoxin germ. So we need to get rid of that.
What's the #1 thing we do, Dr. Jim?
Well,
how do we...
right now, first of all, I don't understand this discussion that Kennedy and his association had with the CS. Because I cannot understand how you can fix the consumer price at 75 from imported maize from Uganda. and then you have only 2 million bags to release from NCPB. The first thing that we need to do is to release that maize, the 2 million bags, because if you don't release it,
it will go bad as well.
It will go bad anyway. So release that to them, so that at least, whether you release it, I would even release it at 1,600. Because, you know, what was the price of the one that has gone contaminated? So I would release it to them at 1,600 and say, we've roasted, so let's lose it. So I would release the 2 million bags immediately to them. And I will ask them, go ahead and offer at 75, 76 shillings per 2 kg pack. But that is only short-lived for 3 weeks. Then what happens? And then the NCPB silos are empty. So government must allocate money to NCPB, and I know a lot of people will not agree with this.
Yes, because NCPB, like you said, has structural issues to begin with.
But
should we be putting more money into it?
It also manages our national strategic reserves. If they release the 2 million bags to the meters, our national strategic reserves are zero. So so that's why I'm saying, we may not like them for now, but the government should release money. And farmers out there
and we're releasing the money to NCPB to do what? To buy from the farmers?
From farmers?
Or to import again, which is something else that was an issue? To buy
from farmers, hopefully if they can replenish the 2 million, or probably better still if they can buy 4 million, but at prices that are going to push the price of a 2 kg packet to between 70 and 90 shillings.
But that means the farmer loses because he's going to sell his grain.
If you look at the statistics that were showed today, and again, there's no farmer who looks like the other. What Tegemeo Institute has provided are indicators that the cost of production is anywhere between 1,600 and 2,000 shillings. What they have not told us is where are the majority of the farmers. And therefore, even if it is a 2,000 cost of production, if you buy it at 2,300 or 2,500, for you to keep the price of unga below 100, the farmer will make a marginal profit. So to come out of this, there has to be sacrifices by farmers. There has to be sacrifices by consumers. They must pay beyond 75 as we clear the mess. Now, if we clear this mess,
then long term
is NCPB has outlived its usefulness. It should never be anywhere to be seen. What NCPB transformed should do is only buy for national strategic reserves. Going forward, as we sit today, Yvonne, there is a bill in Parliament called Warehousing Receipting System Bill. What it does is it allows the private sector to set up silos in the maize production zones. And once they set the silos, with this bill being enacted into law, the farmers individually or in cooperatives will bring their maize after it has been harvested immediately. They will bring to the silo. These silos are registered. The silo will take the maize, weigh it, clean it, fumigate it, and store it, and issue the farmer with a receipt, which is a warehousing receipt, like a legal tender, like the money you have in your pocket. And they'll go to designated financial institutions, and they'll get either whole or part payment. And then the private silos operators will sell it to meters or sell it to traders, and then the farmer will be paid the balance. NCPB should be nowhere as far as this is concerned.
All right.
But having said that, let me say one more thing. Still, we have not fixed this cost of production. As we talk now, the fertilizer is being imported by the same cartel. It will be here at exaggerated prices. It will be of low quality. Next season, we'll be talking about fertilizer. We'll not be talking about maize.
Because it seems like it's cyclical.
It's cyclical.
We speak about fertilizer, then we speak about poor rainfall, poor harvest. Then we have a glut. Then there's no.
We have to bring down our cost of production. Why were they getting maize from Uganda at 1,400 shillings? They are our neighbors across here. If you go to Kapchorwa, which is the other part of Kitale, they buy our inputs from Kitale. Their soils are good. They have, of course, limited cartels than we have in terms of the value chain, but also much more importantly, our subsidy program, the national subsidy program that we are having now should be transformed. And we have ways and means of how other countries have transformed
Dr. Nyoro, in 1 minute, this is how we're going to fix the maize sector. Food security is a big part of the Big Four agenda. It is interesting to me that in 2018 we still talk about, you know, inadequate food, and we're still focused on maize. Like you said, food insecurity in this country means there is no maize. Diversifying all of that, like what's the bigger long-term picture to getting us not so dependent when one crop doesn't do well?
Yeah, it's ironical that we are flying to JFK and we are still talking about maize.
That's
and
right.
the price of maize.
Yeah.
The point really is that we have to agree that we are in a hole and that we have to dig coming out of this hole. Yes, we have to fix the maize because eating habits do not change immediately. So you not tell people tomorrow to eat sweet potatoes and whatever, they will.
Okay.
But we have to introduce other crops. And, you know, ironically, you know, sweet potatoes traditionally is a poor man's crop, but today is a rich man's crop. It's sold in supermarkets because the production is not supported. The counties have not been able to support, you know, the production of those crops.
Right.
So we have to come in and fix that. But much more importantly, and the government started, is to encourage large-scale food production.
Okay. Okay.
Because we have a gap.
Yeah.
We have to go in. We have to stop spending 130 billion shillings, sending it all over the world.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Dr. James Nyoro, who I should mention is also the Deputy Governor for Kiambu, but tonight he's wearing the hat of food expert. He's one of the country's foremost food security experts in the country and was President Uhuru Kenyatta's advisor on the same during his first term. Daktari, thank you very much for joining us and for your insights.